time began on this earth, there was always angels and visitations. They haven't stopped since this world was created, and they still continue to this day. And with Christmas being in the mix, the Spielberg film being released, pointing to next summer, June the 16th, we're all going to no doubt watch that film and see what's coming down, as they say. But coming down might imply coming from above. Better said, coming up from below, truth be known, because usually if the world now, interesting in the taster there that we had, the world's looking for truth. So many mixed up lies. Who knows who or what to believe anymore? Who on earth is closer to the truth? Is it ChatGPT, who's now closer to the truth? We all go to ChatGPT. Why? You think he's closer to the truth, or it's closer to the truth? Is it that the computers are now closer to the truth than us? You have to remember all this when you go to these places. We assume we're getting truth. So the world is very hungry for the truth. And this is interesting when you see the trailer that comes up. We want the truth. Can anyone tell us the truth? We don't trust our government no more. We don't trust big business. We don't trust each other. We're indeed fulfilling prophecies, if you know the prophecies. Jesus said, in these days, we've all heard of the last days, but these are the days that aren't looking good. And they're looking gloomy. So they're the days that are kind of close to awful days for us, whatever we want to call them. We have distress amongst nations from top to the bottom, all the citizens in each nation. From the top to the bottom, we've got distress amongst nations. All this talk of various wars and rumours of wars in the Ukraine, etc., etc. We all think it's some kind of a setup, which truth be known is all played out so that we take sides and all this sort of stuff and get roped into some awful distress. Jesus said, and there'll be distress amongst nations with perplexity. Very confusing day and age, and who and where do we draw all those lines? And who we go to for the truth anymore? There's so many barkers out there barking up so many trees. Where do we go for the truth? Well, the truth, of course, is recorded down, and that's probably instant suicide in some people's eyes. And we got to hear the history of Gabriel, 600 BC, coming to Daniel, who would have been anything between 65 to 80 years old. And this is an account of visitation that's actually reliable, not coming from kind of an interdimensional, scientifically proven or not realm. Something like CERN might come up with something like this. We all hear of these various theories on here that point to the fact that it's discovered other dimensions scientifically, and we can now prove it and get under a microscope. These are things you can't get under a microscope. You will never, ever get God under a microscope. And that's the real truth. So here's Daniel and his visitations. This is going 600 BC. So we also want to hear the truth that, oh gosh, is there life out there? Can anyone tell us, can anyone reveal to us that there is indeed life out there that would have visited and does visit this world? Are they living amongst us? Well, there's one thing you can be sure of. There are indeed beings, angels are messengers, indeed out there and here. Because here's an account of an angel that was no doubt out there. This same angel saying in the New Testament, I am Gabriel. I, Gabriel, stand in the presence of God. So in other words, I, Gabriel, am coming from the top. One of God's top ministers, an archangel, Gabriel, coming from the top. I, Gabriel, it could very well say, I'm coming from the top. I'm coming from God's throne. I indeed stand in the presence of God. Now I'm coming to you on earth. So here's the earliest accounts of Gabriel. Now, Bible scholars and what have you all believe that the visitations in the prophecies of Daniel were all pointing to Gabriel and often accompanied by other angels, but the name Gabriel comes up in 2 or 3 of these chapters here. And I'm not going to go into the whole vision, but in the first year, so in chapter 7, this is where Daniel's visions, visitations from other realms, spiritual realm, kicks off. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream. Now, this is where this angel appears to him in a dream. It's interesting how they often appear to you in a dream. They often appear to people who get it alone. They're often alone when they have these visitations, and they often appear either in your waking hours or in your sleeping hours. There's something very strange about sleep, isn't there, that we could slip into another mind, whereby in that mind, of course it's the same mind, so much the mind is capable of, whereby you can slip out of the mind that you have into another mind, so to speak. And when this happens in your sleep, people might say, it's just a dream. No, because the mind was different in that I know it wasn't just a dream. It was real. But you were asleep and your eyes were shut. No, it was real. Because it happened in a kind of a different mind, level of consciousness, whatever you want to call it. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions on his head, upon his bed, and he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matter. So this angel appears to him in a dream. I won't go into what the visitation, the angel, we know it's Gabriel. So, and these are the kind of things that Gabriel talks of, which is interesting. The various conversations with Gabriel is interesting because we have the conversation that we all know of in the New Testament, how Gabriel visits Mary, a young virgin. Interesting how she was a young virgin, she had to be. If she'd been round the block a bit, like these days, you might think, well, she probably wasn't even a virgin, so, you know, she's pregnant, right? How do we know that's true? Well, she had to be young. You look at it kind of logically and technically, if you like, they were dealing with the spiritual. Interesting how Mary was a young virgin. She hadn't been around or around the block and all this kind of stuff, and she said she's never been with a man, but we all know she has, and all this kind of thing. So quite interesting how this angel Gabriel, here he is, the point is, here he is, he's talking to Daniel, and he's 65 to 80, these visions took off. So I guess he's 65-ish in this vision. And he sees this angel in a dream. And so he has these dreams upon his bed, chapter 7, verse 1, if you want to read that. And here's one of the things that the angel Gabriel is revealing. So it's not only the case that the angel Gabriel appears to Daniel, but the angel Gabriel is coming with the ability, you might say, to give Daniel visions. How does he do this? Not only does the angel appear, but he gives Daniel visions. So Daniel not only has a visitation from an angel, he also comes with visions at the same time. And interesting, the conversations with Gabriel are interesting. So verse 13, I saw in the night vision. He's told you that he was asleep in the night vision, dreams upon his bed. I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man. And this is talking a prophecy of Jesus. So I'm going to say these messages from these angels can be a kind of blessing. Yeah, be a blessing when Jesus comes back. We're all in. So the happy ending to the story is this. I saw in the night visions, behold, one like the Son of Man, but this is Jesus, came with the clouds of heaven. What does it say in the New Testament? Behold. He, Jesus, Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. So what's he talking about? He's talking about the second coming of Jesus Christ. He's not only talking about the second coming of Jesus Christ, he's talking about the second coming of Jesus Christ after the rise and fall of empires. So the rise and fall of empires, the empires of man, the gloomy vision side of it, but the bright side of the vision and the conversation is the second coming of Jesus Christ. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days. And that's Jesus and the Father coming in this same sense. Jesus comes in the Father. Jesus is one with the Father. So this is indeed talking about the Messiah, because only Jesus is one with the Ancient of Days, points to God. God lives in timelessness. There's no beginning or end to God. He didn't begin, he didn't end. He just is. So the Ancient of Days points to God. I am, that I am. God simply is. And Jesus here, one with the Father who is. And they brought him near before him. And here's again the good news. And there was given unto him, Jesus, right, where authority from God. Jesus sits on the right hand of the throne of God now. And he does, since he left this world, his ascension, goes back to God, sits on the right hand of the throne of God. And then Jesus comes back, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And has authority from God, from the Ancient of Days, Jesus being one with the Father. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. And his dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. So when Jesus comes back, he's going to set up his kingdom, and it's going to be forever. This is what Daniel's being shown.